Hello, one and all. Welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one, we're here to talk about UFC 309's main event. Specifically, how would Jon Jones approach the fight against Stipe Miocic? We're going to talk about the main event that's going to take place in Madison Square Garden. Specifically, Jon Jones and his possible approach to this fight. But before getting started, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification so we can get this channel to 1,000 subscribers collectively ASAP. Once again, welcome. Pleasure to have you on another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one we're going to discuss together as a community the night of UFC 309, specifically the main event. How would Jon Jones approach this fight against Stipe Miocic? Remember, we're only exploring hypothetical scenarios here. If I were Jon Jones, how would I approach the fight against a Stipe Miocic that's been inactive for, 3 years plus? I lose track at this point. Obviously, nobody has any clear indicators of what Stipe Miocic is going to look like. Obviously, he has to have been in the gym throughout the past few months in preparation for the fight against Jon Jones. But in terms of Jon Jones, let's say, even though Jon Jones himself is not the most active fighter in that heavyweight division, still, he's been more active, obviously, than Stipe Miocic. Nonetheless, it's been a while since we've seen Jon Jones in there, but there is some kind of sense of assurance that you get when you talk about Jon Jones. It's almost as if the outcome of the result is almost guaranteed, with no disrespect to Miocic here. I'm talking about fights in the past. You never felt like, heading into any fight, you never felt like Jon Jones was in trouble. I never thought that Jon Jones was truly in trouble. There was one fight in particular, two fights really, and both of those fights happened to be rematches. The first one, obviously, was the rematch against, I'm not sure which rematch took place first. I know he's faced Gustafsson before he's faced DC. Obviously, Jon Jones faced both guys twice. He had the rematch for both. And there was somewhat a sense of anticipation for the second fight on both occasions. Especially the rematch against Alexander Gustafsson. Because the first fight, Gustafsson, I think, was the closest fighter ever to defeat Jon Jones. And he fell short, obviously, twice. Now, that being said, we're talking about what could arguably be Jon Jones' last fight. How would Jon Jones approach the fight against Stipe Miocic, who's, I want to say, mid-40s, 42, 41, 42, 43, somewhere around there. Stipe over 40 for sure. He's been inactive for 3 years plus. And last time around, it went terribly for Stipe, obviously. I have a feeling that Jon Jones might come into this fight with a wrestling approach. There's a high likelihood that Jon Jones take this fight to the ground, perhaps finish this fight a lot sooner than what many of us anticipate. Obviously, this is only hypothetical. This fight could go whichever way possible, right? There's so many possible different scenarios. Just that the fight lasting 5 rounds, I think it's a stretch. It's a stretch of imagination if you were to try and think about that. In reality, I think this fight's probably closer to Jon Jones taking it to the ground and attempting to finish the fight that way in the initial stage of the fight. First 3 rounds, I want to say. Obviously, I could be wrong. This is not me siding with one guy over the other. This is just hypothetical scenarios. I will make a video. We'll discuss Stipe Miocic's possible game plan heading into the night of UFC 309 against Jon Jones. That is yet to come. If you made it this far, appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments and like, subscribe for more.